Going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ride the Six Motorcycle channel. We're still working on our GSX-S 1000F, if I said that right. And we're at the point now where we're going to start putting the fairing pieces on. So our very first fairing piece to go on is, this is the first piece that has to go on onto this bike. The main fairings bolt to this piece. It could be a bit of a hassle if you ever want to do some quick work on the bike. If you ever have to lift your gas tank, I'm pretty sure you're going to take all your fairings off. You're going to bolt everything. So it's not as easy as an FZ6R. Maintenance is definitely a little bit more difficult. Alright, without further ado, let's start getting some pieces put on here. I've topped up the coolant. I've topped up the oil in the bike. We're good. It's all good. I don't need to take the fairings back off for any of that stuff. So we're moving forward. Fairings are going on. Starting now. Stay tuned. So this is our very first piece. This locks to the tank and then the fairings lock to this piece. I've looked over this piece. It looks like everything's intact. I even have all the little foam bits on the back for the, I guess, to just leave it sitting off the tank a little bit. There's a couple little clips right here. So I've checked the diagrams. This piece is intact. It's not perfect. I don't know who had the bike before. There's a bit of a little scuff right here. You probably can't even see it on the video, I wouldn't suspect. And there's another little scuff here. It's not perfect, but this is a $230 piece before tax, guys. So I'm not necessarily looking to make the bike perfect, and I generally don't replace pieces that aren't broken. Like, it's just really not worth it. Alright, so we're going to drop this piece on the bike. I'm just going to line these little clips up, see where they all sit. I've already got the ignition housing in there. And we just have to guide this around the tank. I don't even think we're seated yet. I think I have to push it down. Gotta find these clips. Oh, there we go. So yep, we're down on that side. I believe we're down on this side as well. So it looks like it's in place. I'll come around quickly to that side and check it out. There's 4 screws that hold this to the tank. This is the first part number right here. Hopefully you can see that. 09106 06117. And this is the second bolt for the tank. 09139 06200. So there's 2 of each. I did not have these bolts. I had to order them. I had a little parcel come in yesterday from the Suzuki dealer. Alright, so let's get that on. We're going to bolt the rear piece first. And I might just bring the camera around so you can see a better angle at it. So our first bolt hole is here, and then our secondary bolt hole is here. One bolt is just a flat bolt with a wide base, and this is the rear bolt that holds this piece on. Hopefully I never have to lift this gas tank again. So there's that one. Let's go to the other side quickly. Okay, we're on the right hand side now. Same thing. This is the rear bolt for the tank cover. I'll snug them up in a second. I just want to get the first couple in there. Again, you don't have to over tighten anything here. This is actually going into metal on the side of your gas tank, so you don't need to strip it. Okay, first 2 are in. Second bolt is a little bit different. There's a shoulder on the bolt, and the hole here is actually, it's bigger, so this is why you need the shoulder on the bolt. We're going to start it by hand there first. There we go. And as we tighten this in, it should actually pull the plastic housing into the right location. These are actually pretty large bolts for a gas tank and a plastic piece. Okay, so again, I'm not going to tighten it down. I'm going to go to the other side quickly. So same thing down here, down low. These shoulders work as a spacer for your fairing. It also makes sure it gets lined up in the right spot. This one's a little tighter than the other side. No big deal. We'll just take our time here. If you've watched any of my shows, you know I don't use too many power tools to tighten these kind of bolts in. Okay, we're snug. We're snug on that one. And back over to the right hand side, we're going to snug everything up here as well. Okay, we're snug there. And we're snug there. So our first fairing piece is installed. You can get a look at the blue. It probably looks pretty good. I decided to turn my second light on in my garage on top of this one. So maybe the lighting's a little bit better today. But yeah, you can see that little scratch right there. Not exactly perfect. Not super happy about it. Little scuff here. But again, guys, you know, for an auction bike, I'm not going to complain about it. And a little scratch here. Overall, not bad. Nothing's broken on the piece. And to be honest, once everything gets on the bike, I don't even think anyone's going to notice it. Our last little piece for this tank cover are two little pop pins right here and in the same place on the other side. Part number 09409-06314. And normally you buy these in a 5-pack, so it's just a little black pop pin. So we're just going to insert into the hole and push the pin in, the center pin in. There we go. It essentially just holds down your plastic piece, your ignition cover. Okay, push it in, pop pin. Alright, good to go. Piece is completed. Moving on to the next piece. So we have the next fairing installed. I just have the two bottom bolts tightened in right there. These fairings are a little bit tricky. It's going to be almost impossible to see inside here. Let me see if I can turn a flashlight on. Yeah, it's pretty tricky, but basically the radiator, the little tabs that come off the radiator slide into the fairings. So you can see that one tab in there is in place. I can't see the other one that's up in underneath, obviously. But yeah, we have this, the right side fairing is on. This is a new fairing piece that I did buy. This whole assembly was about $800. And then I had to buy signal lights also. Alright, so now we're to the part where we've never gone any further than this. We've never bolted anything in here. This is a temporary bolt just holding things in. So let's get that in place, and then we'll start connecting all the harnesses, the cables, and we'll keep moving forward. So here's our next bolt to align the fairing. This is another shoulder bolt. Part number 09139-05074. You need two of these, one for each side. Let's open that up. Let's get this side done. We'll get this little temporary bolt out of here. I just used that to help me kind of mount the fairings up. I didn't want this fairing to fall and scratch itself or anything. So you can see it's a shoulder bolt. With these shoulder bolts, your fairing should be in the perfect location, assuming everything else is good. Assuming your frame and everything, all your mounting points are good, this should align your fairings perfectly. Okay, there we go. We'll just snug it up. Trying to not get my hands in the way. Probably good there. I'll just double check. Yeah, we should be good. Also, there's a little rubber piece here on top of your I guess the inner fairing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to what to call these things. Little rubber piece there, and I think our trim piece is going to sit on top of that. So there we go. We have our main harness plugged in. Make sure this is plugged in tight, guys, until it clicks all the way. Signal light also, I have it connected. Now I'm not sure if it's just my bike or maybe this is what this bike is like. This doesn't really click in. They just kind of slide in together, but it doesn't really click in. It doesn't seem solid, but you know, I guess maybe it shouldn't fall out, you know. So yeah, so our signal light's in. We can test the signal light. We can turn it on. So we do have a right turn signal. You can see we have a right turn signal in the back. So our signal light harness is good. Our dash cluster is on, so everything else here should be good. I'm probably going to wrap this up with like a rubber wrap or something to that effect. There was something here before, but when I opened it up, it was kind of dry and it just kind of peeled off. All right, let me get that wrapped up. Next thing we're going to tackle on this bike is this chain. You can see it's extremely rusty. This bike was definitely outside for a little bit during the auction phase, and I want to take off the front sprocket cover as well, just to kind of clean it up and get a look in there. And just like Suzuki fashion, they don't make it easy. They actually have your clutch cable coming through the front sprocket cover. And also, you need to take off your shift linkage. So that's the first thing. We're going to unbolt this. We're going to try to unbolt the front sprocket cover. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this clutch lever. I don't know. So we're going to take it off, clean it up, and get a look underneath. There we go. Our shift linkage is off. This is a 8mm bolt. In order to get this off, you got to make sure you take that bolt completely out, and then it'll just pop right off the shaft here. Okay, we're going to tackle this cover here next. 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 bolts perhaps. Let me pop those off. And check that out. 4 bolts from the sprocket cover, 3 different sizes. Now this is frontward to back, so front, next one, next one, next one. These 2 are the same. These 2 are completely different. So make sure you know which bolts come out of which holes when you take your sprocket cover off. So there we go. I've got the cover out of the way. You might want to do yourself a favor too. Detach your clutch cable from your lever, because you need some slack down here to kind of just get your clutch cover out of the way. So I've gone in here and I've cleaned everything up a little bit. This rod here was pretty gunked up. You can see all the dirt laying under the bike here. This all came out from inside the sprocket cover, just dirty. And we're going to get ready to cut this chain off, basically. It's time to come out. I have access to the top sprocket here now. This is your push rod for your clutch. So I pulled this out, lubed it. Actually, no, I didn't even lube it. I just pulled it out, cleaned it, and shoved her back in the motor there. All right, time to get the cutting tools. We're going to cut this chain off. First step in doing the chain is to grind off the head. Just pick any link and grind the head off it. And then we're going to use our Motion Pro chain tool. I just picked this up for about 130 bucks. It's a pretty good tool. It's quite sturdy. I've already used it a couple times. My other one broke, but it wasn't Motion Pro, it was something else. Anyways, I'm just going to put that on the chain. I'm going to press the chain off. So success. My Motion Pro tool was able to pop that link up very quick, but you could see the shape of the rear sprocket. It's not in very good condition. I do have another one order. It should be in a day or so. And here is the old chain, completely rusted through and through. So we have a brand new chain already in stock. I'm just waiting on that sprocket to come in. And I've also cleaned up pretty good inside the front sprocket. Everything's all good. A little bit of rust here, but it's fine. The sprocket itself is still pretty good. Good shape. We're going to get her all back together. Stay tuned. Okay, there's the chain. I had to move inside again, guys. It was raining, thunderstorms. And we're going to switch back to fairings quickly. I've got the right side on. I've got the nose cowl on. I've got these two pieces actually linked in proper. Everything's looking good. Even though it's a bit of a scuff, but I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to drop the right side fairing on right now. And then we're going to deal with the chain. I need to get the rear wheel off anyway. So before I do that, before I put the bike up on stands, I want to get this side fairing on. And then we can focus on the back. I do know I'm switching a little bit between chain and fairings, but it's just the process, the order I have to do the things in. There we go. We have the left side fairing on. It probably is easy as asking you to keep your nose cowl off until you get this fairing in here. When the nose cowl is on, it's a little bit more difficult. I tried it the other way. The easiest way is to keep your nose cowl off. Get your two side fairings on first. I've got it bolted up here to the tank. You can see this fairing has a little scuff right there, but overall, again, not bad. These are $800 fairings to buy new. It's not broken. It's got a bit of a scuff. It's not ideal, I know, but I want to ride this bike this year, so I can fix this stuff later on. But the goal is to get the rear tire off, get that sprocket off, get the new chain on. And before I do that, I want to get all the fairings in place. So the both right and left fairings are in and completed at the moment. And I'm just going to drop the nose cowl back in, and then we're going to bolt this cluster up and kind of just button that piece up on the bike. Got right and left fairings on, got the nose cowl on. Now we're going to work with these little inner pieces right here. This is all even buttoned up. I've got the bolts in this. Just going to put a couple pop pins here, here. But yeah, we're all bolted in. This is all solid bolted in. This is the final resting spot for these fairings. And now we can get this bike back in the garage, get it lifted up, get this rear wheel out, get the sprocket changed. So the next little piece in the fairings is getting these little inner trim pieces in. This is way more complex than it ever needs to be. There's like a little clip up here that clips in. There's two pieces here that slide between your plastics. There's a clip here. There's a screw here. There's little clips and markers all along the side here. And then back here, this is why that tank cover was scratched, because I looked at the manual and they tell you when you're putting in this piece to cover your tank piece here with cloth. And this is exactly why it's scratched in that area, because it's that metal piece that's probably scratching it up. All right, I don't know if I can film this. This is going to be a bit of a tricky thing. You have to kind of slide it in from the front, start clipping all your pieces in, and then kind of work your way backwards on these plastics. Let me see if I can get that in there without too much effort. I managed to get it in. It wasn't too bad, but yes, definitely roll it in from the front, and you got to start here and kind of work your way around and clip as you go back. And definitely you need this towel back here under the tank. You can see, like, you got to kind of bend and move stuff to get these things in. So the first piece is in. It's actually looking like a finished motorcycle right now. Let me see if I can get the other side in. Right, so we're going to go to the left side here. I'm going to try to film this for you guys. It's not quick. Well, it is quick if you kind of get it in the right spots, I guess. But yep, so you can see over here, this is exactly what I was saying. See where the two pieces come together? And look where the scratches are on that tank cover. right there. So that's exactly why it's scratched in those locations. And it's going to be the same over here. Same spot, scratched right there. Just due to these little metal clips when you're putting your fairings in and out. Alright, let me see if I can film this for you guys and put it in there. So cover your tank because it's going to scratch if you don't. And you're going to try, so you got to come in from the angle here. Clip the very first piece here by your cluster first. And then you kind of need to roll. It's very tricky, guys. You got to roll this piece in. Let me see here. You can see these two tabs jam up under your fairings. This one jams up under your fairing. And you're just going to push this forward as you finagle it into place. Hopefully I can get it into place here. There we go. So just slide it forward and then come to the back piece. You're going to have to pull your fairings apart a little bit to get it in there. And you're going to have to wiggle things. And everything snaps together. Tight fit. So pull your cloth out. So there you go. That's how to get these pieces in out, guys. They are not easy. I don't like how everything clips together and snaps together. Just give me a piece that I can bolt in, take it out, nice and simple. But Suzuki, I guess maybe the fit and finish is a little bit better. All the trim pieces are pretty tight here. But we now have essentially most of the fairings on the bike. There's only a couple little pieces left. But yeah, this piece is contoured very nicely. It kind of brings all the pieces together. And we've got two more screws on each side here and here. Let me see if I can find those screws. So I have the two bolts to bolt this piece and the other side, but it appears that the front bolt here is different. I thought I ordered it, but maybe I didn't. Anyways, the part number for these two bolts is 09139-05064. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, there you go. Alright, let's get these in. So this is another shoulder bolt, meaning that it helps you align your fairings as you tighten the bolt in. We're going to start it by hand, obviously. Should pull everything together nicely. I'm not going to over tighten it, just going to snug it up. That's good. Same thing on the right hand side. Let's get our bolt in there. Things are lining up properly. I don't see it pulling anything out of the way, or it looks like we're all in, and we're good. So yeah, this bolt here I'm going to have to order. This bolt here I'm going to have to order, but I mean this piece isn't going to come out. It's clipped in so many ways, but I will get the bolts. And I'm just going to grab my two pop pins for this windscreen right here. The final two pop pins here for the, I guess, holds the cluster in. 09409 06314, and again they're usually bought in a 5-pack, but your shop might be good to you if you want to order them individually. Simple task, put it in. Should be simple, put it in, pop it down. Sometimes it's not as easy to do with your fingers. There we go. Second pin. There we go. Front is all bolted up. I'm only missing these two screws here for the inner fender liners. Next little step here in the rebuild process on this bike. I bored my buddy's front stand and took the front wheel off. And then I also took the rear wheel off on this bike. The wheels are not in good shape. Let's go take a look at the wheels right now. So here's the rear wheel from the GSX-S 1000. You can see there's a lot of scrapes and scuffs on the wheel. I don't know how that really happens. And also there's a little bit of corrosion and stuff. I think the bike was kind of sitting outside a little bit. And front wheel, I've taken all the rotors and stuff off, obviously, and the ABS sensors, or the ABS pickup, I guess you want to call it, I don't know. But you can see, same thing, there's like some corrosion and stuff on the rim. So yeah, I'm going to send both the front wheel and the rear wheel out to powder coating. It'd be cool to do it in yellow or blue or something really unique, but I'm going to try to keep it stock, I think, guys, and just do the black. So those go off to the powder coaters, and then I'm on vacation for a couple weeks. So hopefully when I get back, the wheels will all be done, and we'll throw those back on the bike. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The weather's a little bit unpredictable right now in Ontario. Lots of thunderstorms and rain. But if you're out there riding, ride safe. Keep the rubber side down.